Okay, we're live. So this week is Khmer New Year. I thought I'd start off by just talking about what's going on. It's Khmer New Year. If you're watching this later, it's Thursday night right now. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, first thing, I'm going to the singer in my band's house, and we're all getting into an SUV and going to Sihanoukville. It's a city on the south part of Cambodia, right by the coast. And when we get there, we get on a boat with all our stuff, all our gear, everything, and we're going to an island called Koh Rong. And a resort on Koh Rong has hired us to be the band for Khmer New Year, on Saturday night. And so we're the band for the party on Saturday night, and we've got to get to the island. And so I'll be making videos the whole time going there, and that'll be really cool. So we're Saturday night's the show, but we're going on Friday really early. So we're going to get there Friday, and the resort has a room for us on the Saturday night, but not guaranteed Friday night. It's full, but if the people leave, then we can have the room, but we probably won't have a room Friday night. So we're going to bring hammocks, like the hammocks that have there's hammocks you can get where when you get inside, you can zip it up so you're totally enclosed, so mosquitoes can't get you and stuff. And they're gonna bring a tent, I think. So the first night we might be like in zip up mesh hammocks or tents, like on the beach with a fire. So it's cool. Just like a few years ago, I was in a condo in Toronto, and now I'm like gonna be on a hammock on a tropical island, just for the first night. If you think about it, it's just a few hours. Like, if we're hanging out at night and everything, it's like midnight. Then the sun comes up at like 5 or 5:30. So it's just like lay in the hammock and have a nap for 5 hours, and then it's the morning. And then we can go into the resort. The resort said we could set up all this stuff on their beach. Like, there's a beach that's their thing right there. And so he's like, I don't know for sure if we could have the room, but you can camp out there. So that's going to be really cool and interesting. And then the Saturday night we have a dorm room, and then Sunday I'm going to come back. And I think they're going to stay and play more on Sunday night and then come back on Monday, but I work on Monday. So that's what's coming up. So I'll be making proper videos. I'll probably do a live as well, or maybe two. Probably once I'm there, when we're all set up on the beach or getting set up, maybe I'll do a live. Oh, crap. I just got a notification that my data is running out. I'm just going to top it up. Hang on one sec. I topped it up. Sometimes when you top it up, it has to shut off for a second, so it might say like reconnecting. It might freeze for like 10 seconds while it renews my data plan. Usually it shuts down. Okay, it says I've renewed. Usually it kind of restarts itself, so I might go on pause for a second. And then I'll get into some stories about phone snatchings and bag snatchings and different scams that I've heard of here. Oh, it's saying I've successfully topped up. Let's see, I know it's gonna drop out any second. Yeah, that should be some really cool videos coming up. The boat ride will be funny. I don't do well on the boat. I get really seasick. You can all laugh at my suffering. Looks like it's fine. Yeah, so cell phone thefts. So it's never happened to me, but it's very common here. I know there's like at least 2 teachers I work with that it's happened to them. And it can happen anywhere. Like if they wait for that just split second where your moment of opportunity where you're not paying attention, and they'll grab it right from your hand. Like if you're just like on a phone call, and they just come and take it, and they're on a bike and they zip away. There's nothing you can do about it. I've been in tuk-tuks even where I'm like using my phone, and the driver turns around, it's like, hey, like he's like warning me, put your phone away, because someone's gonna like reach in and take it. And some tuk-tuks, the drivers have put up, like, some of them don't have any doors at all, and some of them they have little tiny doors that just go up to your knees, and then some of them attach like fencing, or like little, looks like a cage kind of, and you almost feel weird getting in. Why are you caging me in? But it's for your safety, so people can't reach in and like snatch your stuff. It's never happened to me. Another way is if you're sitting like on a patio and you put your phone on the table and you're talking and you're not looking and you're a few drinks in, and it's very easy for someone walking by to just like take it, or especially if they're in a team, one of them can come start talking to you, or their little kids come out. That happens often in bars, even really late at night. Little kids are walking around selling fruits or selling little bracelets, and you turn around like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any money for you. And while you're not looking, they're another person's taking your phone off the table or something. So you should like don't leave your stuff laying out like that, or unattended, because there might be someone who's like been scoping you out. They're just waiting for the 1 second you have your head turned or you're not looking. And then, from what I've heard from the people that have got their phone stolen, you try to go to the police and they're like no help at all. They don't take it seriously if it's just your phone got stolen. And the feeling they've expressed is that they're getting no sympathy at all from the police, because they see us like we're really rich foreigners coming here. So it's like, oh, my iPhone got stolen, and like they don't really empathize with you very much. And even I've heard stories of people that they phone got stolen and they're using Find My Phone, and they track it all the way to a location, and it ends up being a phone shop, like a store that's a cell phone store. And bing, bing, and they can hear their phone binging in the back, and then the people at the shop are being really rude and mean and denying it and stuff. And then standing there, they call the police saying, I've tracked it down right to here. I can see it in the back and hear the binging in the back, and they still won't even come. The police still wouldn't come help. Let's see what you said here. What's the name of the resort you guys are playing at? Stephen O'Connor asks. It's called Nest Beach Club. Nest. It's on the Koh Rong, like the normal one. There's another, I'm not an expert at all the names, but there's Koh Rong Sanalum or something, or Salum. And everyone says that's the nicer one. We're not on that one. It's the regular Koh Rong. Nest Beach Club. So yeah, if it gets stolen, it's not like, well, I'll go to the police and then I'll get it back. It's like it's gone. You can't. The police don't help you. And it could be partially because they're like, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do, and they want their. That's your cue to give them a bribe, and then maybe they'll help you. But it's gone, and you can't. Are you gonna like physically fight them? You can't fight them because. Even if you win that fight, then they'll find you the next day with some buddies and beat you and get you later. Like, there's no point in, once it's stolen, it's gone. Yeah. The other type of way people get their things stolen is, like bag snatchings. Same thing as cell phones, but it can be more dangerous. I've seen more of these in the news. I don't have any friends really where this happened to, but I've seen news articles. This was back when I was still in Canada and looking into coming here, and I'd be looking at the Phnom Penh Times or whatever. That there's a newspaper that they have a website, and I'd be keeping up on what's going on to try to see when are they opening up to get in the country, and you'd see different news stuff. And I've seen articles where people getting jumped or getting mugged, and one was a lady that she's riding on her motorbike and she has a cross bag on, wearing it while she's driving, and they drive up behind and they try to rip the bag off of her, but it causes her to have a like a motorbike accident, because it's like flinging her right off her motorbike. I think she didn't die, but she got really hurt, got got like thrown off her motorbike because they're trying to rip the bag off her like while they're driving. And I was hearing reports of this was same time frame when I was back in Canada, and it was like during the same 2 month span I'd see all these. There's a bunch of articles in this short time span of like muggings, but it was in Campot, which is weird that I haven't heard anything in years. But this was back when I was in Canada. There was a few in a row where the stories would be like someone's walking at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday, just going for a walk to grab coffee or something, and you just from behind you just get bumped, like someone just clubs you, and you go down, and then they're grabbing all your stuff off you and they rob you. And I saw a few articles like that. So like it can happen. You have to just they always say that you have to be aware of your surroundings. You know, you should notice if someone's coming up behind you and stuff like that. Don't leave your stuff sitting out. You know, if you're on a motorbike, maybe put your stuff inside. I think, you know, before you hop on, you can open up the seat and put stuff inside, like put it all deep in there, and then no one can pull anything off you. I have another story of a guy I know that late at night, like after the club, they're walking home and they're kind of drunk. That's the other thing. If you're walking drunk, you're a target. And he had a really nice necklace, like chain, like really, I don't know what it was, like nice silver or something, like really fancy jewelry on a chain, on a necklace. And a motorbike guy coming by like tried to snatch the chain while he's ripping by on the motorbike, and it got it, but it ended up like he had like it hurt him, it like injured his neck, and then he's trying to get his chain back and it's gone. Like, so that you don't want to walk around late at night stumbling drunk and flashing like fancy jewelry at 3 a.m, walking alone. Like, how are you, Tom? You sound like you're getting a cold. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't have a cold, but I know what you mean. I feel like I sound different too. I slept in a lot today. We were celebrating Khmer New Year yesterday at school, so I had a few beers, but that might be it too. But I wasn't really. I don't like drinking. Like now that I'm getting older, I don't like drinking to the point where you get really drunk. I don't like drinking that much. So John Paul's asking me, how's my apartment hunting going? Have I found any apartments in the new area that I want to move to, which I'm doing in July? It's funny you should ask, because I have started looking, like just for fun. It's kind of pointless now because I'm going in July. This apartment ends July 22nd, but I want to move there so bad that like pretty much as soon as I pay the rent on June 22nd, after that day, that's my last month. I'm going to start looking right then. So probably by like the first week of July, second week of July or so, I'll be moving into a place. Because then also July 26th, I fly to Canada. So I want to like find a new place, get all my stuff there, get it set up on lock, and then go to Canada. And then when I come back, boom, I already have a place. So yeah, I have been looking and finding cool ones, and I just sort of say like them or bookmark it, but I can't say anything yet because it's not till July. What are we now? Middle of April. So I still have like 2.5 months. Hey, yeah, good to see you too, Amy. I can't see you, but good to read your thing here. It's gonna be good though when I move. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've decided, so now I'm looking, but I'm trying to find very cheap. Like at first I want to find maybe something on par with the same price. I'm getting ripped off where I am now, $300 a month. You can find better places for $250. But I'm thinking, imagine the kind of place you could get for $300 if you like were not getting ripped off. It could be a really, really nice place. So I was first thinking that, and then now the new idea I have is a real dream for me would be not working full time. I used to work really long hours. It's been like a lifelong goal if I could like support myself creatively and with music gigs or with YouTube stuff, and maybe using my YouTube as a platform to bring in other ways of money, or and then maybe teach part time. I still like teaching, but I don't like when it takes over so much that then I don't have any energy for the things I really like to do. I'd rather it be the other way around, like I'm spending more of my energy on the other things. And the whole purpose about moving my whole life out here and doing this crazy flip and selling everything and coming here is to try to like make the life I want. So like, why come here and then not try out to do it all the way? You know what I mean? It's like, well, I have a full-time job, so just hang on to that and everything's gonna be okay. It's good enough. It's like I'm gonna keep going, because that would be so cool if I could have my days to myself, and then maybe I teach a lot of part-time positions would be in the evenings, like a drop-in class, so it'd be like 5:30 to 7:30. So if I could like have my days to myself, make videos, do that kind of thing, then teach for 2 hours, and then at night maybe have band practice or gigs and stuff. I'm joining a hip-hop band soon, and I'm going to start trying to get solo gigs, I think. So with all that combined, and then between now and then, I'm really going to save money a lot. I already have been. So then in case if at first my side hustles aren't strong yet, I have some savings to draw from. So anyways, my point is, because I want to maybe go to working part-time when I come back from Canada and I start in September, I want to see if I can have all these other things as my focus and just teach only part-time. So now when I'm looking at apartments, which was your question, I'm looking for like the cheapest as possible so I could make this whole thing work more easier. And there's some out there, I found like one or two that are like 150 a month, or between 150 and 180 a month. And so I'm going to be trying to like aim for the coolest one of those I can find. So see, that was long-winded, sorry. Question. Regarding opening a bank account, do you have to have an employment contract, or is a 6-month lease sufficient? I think a lease is sufficient. When I asked a bank one time when I first came here, and they said you have to live here for 3 months. But if you showed a lease that shows you're going to live here for more than 3 months, and your visa would be more than a 1 month, they would want your passport too, right, when you're setting it up. So if you just show up with a tourist visa and you're like, well, I'm going to be here for 6 months, they're like, your visa only says you can't be here longer than 30 days. So like if you have a long visa and you have a 6-month thing, I'm pretty like I think you can open a bank account for sure. They want to see that you're not only a 1-monther. You gotta. So if you have a long visa and a long lease, then I think you're in. That's what I think. It's if you need a payroll bank account, like you would need a letter of employment, obviously, but you would just be opening like a regular bank account. I'm on a couple Facebook pages, and I've been looking for apartments too. I use the website, I've been looking everywhere, but there's a website I use a lot called kamai24.com. If it looks wacky on your phone, at the very top, boop, there's a button that says mobile view, then it fits your phone better, and then navigate, it's like houses and land, you click on that, and then apartment rental, boom, click on that, and then you can choose location and price, and real estate agents post there, but also like private people post there, so like people who maybe own properties that rent them out for money, so you can find more private listings as well. And those can be cheaper because there's no middleman really. So Amy's asking, regarding that 1-month visa, one can extend it for 6 months during your first 30 days in order to look for employment, right? It depends which one you got when you entered. If you just go get a tourist one, or you get online, like a lowercase e dash visa, the electronic visa. Those ones are only 30 days, and you can only extend another 30 days only, and that's it. There's another type you can get when you come in that's called E-type, and it's like capital E and the word type, E-type visa, and people call it ordinary visa too. So, and it gets confusing because the electronic one from online, it's a lowercase e, but it's like E visa. That's not the one. You want the capital E type with a capital E, and then those, when you first, it's also for 30 days when you enter, but those type are extendable to much longer lengths. So, like, what it is when you go for an extension, they have different extension types, and each one has like a letter associated with it. So, like, when you have a job, it's called a business visa, and that E type, you get the extension that's called EB for business. So you turn your E to an EB. Yeah, she's asking, is the E type visa available on arrival? I think so, yes. But that stuff changes all the time. So like you should always check on the website. But like I think it totally is. So you get the E type, and then within the 30 days you have to extend it, and you pick what extension you want. And there's one, if you get a job, it's the EB visa, and you would give a letter of employment and all this stuff in. And I think if you're looking for a job, it's called EG, G for George, or G. I don't know what it really stands for. G, going to go look for a job. It's supposed to be the one you're like looking for a job. I think those are 3 month though. I've never had one of those, so I don't know what it was. EG, and then like retirement is ER, and there's probably one for a student, ES or something, you know. So you come in with E type, that's just E with nothing beside it, and then in those 30 days you have to either get out or pick an extension type that goes along with your situation. So you make that E into an EG or an EB and they all come with, you could get a 6 month or a 12 month or a. So you got to look into those. And so if you get a tourist one by mistake, you'd have to go to the border again and come back again. Like you have to leave and come in, do a border run. That's what my band is called, the Visa Runners. That's what that is. It's like you can't get a working visa, but you're trying to stay in a country. So every month you have to like go cross the border and then come back in again. She's asking, I mentioned part-time employment. Is part-time employment readily available? I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but it is available. I think from my feeling, I think that full-time is the more common, like that's how the positions usually are, like all the time. And they want someone full-time because if you have part-time, then you have to hire more, you're juggling more employees then. And I just recently, actually, like in a month ago, I got an email asking me about if I was interested in a part-time position, but it wasn't right for me right now. But it took place between 5:30 and 7:30. So maybe that's a clue into like how that world works. Maybe like those, it sounds like it's like the evenings are when part-time happens probably. Because like, you know, regular school's over, maybe their kids go to public school, and then the parents will send them to like an after-school program where it's like an hour-long English class at 5:30, or I don't know what their situations are, something like that. The other type could be language centers, so then that's not like an elementary school or that's the usual setting you would imagine. It's more like, it looks like a tall office building, and you go in there, and it could be, there's different types of courses that they would offer at a language center. And like adults could sign up for courses there, and it could be like an English class that gets them ready to do a job interview, or you would teach them different vocabulary or ways to speak when you're in a job interview, or how to make a cover letter and a CV and stuff like that in English. Those can be part-time roles, and that's not really a school, it's like a language center. Yeah, so you know what I mean. I'm so not an expert on it, but that's as best as I can describe it. There was one here that was posting a lot on Facebook about job openings, and I emailed them and they never emailed me back. But I'm going to finish this school year at the school I'm at now, and I've asked them if they can transfer me to a campus in that area I want to move in, which is really unlikely, apparently. Like, just talking to all the other teachers and people that have been there for years, it's like really, for some reason, it's like tough for them to do that. People that have asked, it's taken them like 2 or 3 years before they finally move them and stuff like that. So you never know, but they probably won't. So I'll have to quit them in June, the end, whenever school ends, the end of June. And then all July, I'm not working. I'm just free. I'll be doing YouTube videos and moving into that new apartment. And that's when I can go around and try to find a part-time job. So if you just keep watching my videos, you can watch me go through that battle of finding a part-time job and and what it's like. That's what I want to do. Wouldn't that be the life, to just be like, you were able to, I used to work 60 hours a week back in Toronto, and to be like, I work 2 hours a day now and I'm a musician. Wouldn't that, and I live beside palm trees and stuff. That would just, and I've manifested all of that with my bare hands. Like that would just be awesome. So I want to push all that stuff way more now. Yeah, I've heard that in Vietnam. She's saying those language centers are popular in Vietnam. That's what happens when you're a teacher in Vietnam, apparently. You end up getting your schedule is full of different schools and language centers. And there's companies that will set it all up for you. So they give you a schedule and you're driving from school to school, different days of the week and different times and stuff. Amy says, you mentioned saving money. As a native speaker, what would you say is a good amount I'd be able to save as a teacher if I'm frugal? Well, it depends how much you get paid. Oh, you said you're a native speaker. Yeah. So I would say like 300, at least 300 US, but you could do better even. I could do 300. So I'd say if you've tried hard, 400. But then imagine if you got a job that was making 100 more than I make, which is really possible, then boom, now you're saving 500. So like it could be up to 500, I guess. I can't really, if I keep saying that, like 600, 700, then it's getting too out of control. It's maybe 2 to 500, depending what you get paid. Every year, if you stay at the same job too, they'll give you raises. I've even got a raise already. I'm not allowed to say what I make. The school got me in trouble for, that's like considered in my contract, that's sensitive information, so I can't. If all the teachers might make different salaries from each other, and I might make more than someone else, and then they're gonna watch this video, and then it creates tension at work and stuff. But the raise I got was an extra $50 a month or $60 a month from what I made before. What else was I going to talk about? So the title of this was about phone snatchings, phone thefts, bag snatchings, and scams. So we could talk about some scams, or like I'll do that in the meantime. If you have questions, throw it in. Let's talk about stuff. But so some scams I've heard of here. One classic one everyone knows about is you go at the massage places, which I've never gone to them, but at the massage places, they'll ask you to undress and take a shower, and I guess you have to put a robe on, and you would put all your stuff like in a closet, and and then you'd lie down and everything. And apparently the closet, like the back wall of the closet, is removable, and from the other side of the closet, they reach in your pockets and stuff, and they take what the classic thing is they take the $100 bills out of your wallet and they replace them with fake $100 bills. So then when you're finished and you get dressed and you check your stuff, you're like, yeah, it's all there, and then you leave and stuff, and now you have like counterfeit money and they took your real bills. That's one scam. Another one I've heard of with apartments is places that'll ask for a really high deposit, like 3 months deposit, and then you're in there, and they might have a family member in the police, or they have them in their back pocket somehow, or they're going to bribe them or give them some of that money, and all of a sudden you have a knock on your pounding at your door, and it's the landlord with the police, and they're yelling at you in Khmer, and you don't even know what they're saying, and they're trying to say that you have drugs in your apartment. Then they evict you for drugs even though you have nothing, and they keep that deposit because you were kicked out by the police or whatever. Then that landlord just keeps doing that person after person. They're getting like, imagine if it's like a $200 a month apartment and you have to give them 600 or something. So she just steals your 600 and then does it to the next person, next person, next person. That's a scam I've heard of. We'll see what happens to me here at this apartment I'm in now, which is pretty classy and above board, so I trust them and everything. But I had to give 1 month's rent, and then for the security deposit, they wanted 2 months worth. So I had to give 600 as a security deposit, and everyone was saying, "Whoa, that sounds like a scam." But it's like a really official condo building. It's not like the upstairs of some lady's place that she owns or something. It's like a real. I was in an office in a real condo building and signing real paperwork and stuff. And I questioned them about it. Why so much? And it's because I have a huge screen TV. It's here. It's right behind. Let's see if you can see it. There's this. You can't even fit it in the frame. It comes with this big TV. And the couch I'm on, and there's like a bar top right here and stuff. He's just said because of all the furniture and the big screen TV, they have to have a big deposit. But I wanted to say, take it all out and don't keep my 600. But what's kind of cool about that is since that was like 6 months ago, so I live like that 600 never existed. Like I've moved on from that. And now my bank account's back up to like where it should be. I'm like, fine, I'm doing great, saving every month and all that stuff. And it's like that's in the past. I sort of forgot. And then when I leave here in 2.5 months, it's like, here you go, 600 US. That's going to be like, yes, sick. And then when I move to a new place, you're probably thinking, well, that's your money for when you get first and last in the next place. But the next place, as I said, I was only going to be like 150. Like I'm going to aim for really cheap. So if, I'm only going to have to pay first and last, which will be like 300 or 320, like depending what I find. But like first and last together was only going to be like 350, and so I'm going to get 600 back from here. So I'll have like 250 extra at least, so that'll be good. And then I'm going to try to live more of an artist, creator, musician life where I teach part-time instead of teaching full-time and being too tired to do anything I like doing. And I can like help people learn how to come here and teach and stuff like that. What other scams? Does anyone else know any stories about scams or heard any or counterfeit money just in general? I know I already said that with the massage place, but it doesn't have to be at a massage place. It could happen anywhere. Gotta watch out for tuk-tuk drivers. Like I'd always suggest using Grab, or there's apps where you can order the tuk-tuks. If you just go up to one and you're fresh off the plane and you're like, how much to down by Riverside there? And that could be like 2 kilometers away or something, or 2-3 kilometers. And they might go, hey brother, they're so nice. And they'll say, it's just $5. And you coming from America or the UK, you might say, oh, did you hear that, honey? It's only $5. Sweet. Go ahead, let's hop in. And you give them $5. And then you feel like you're both happy. And you don't even realize that should have only been like $1 or $1.25. They're ripping you off. Like, It's usually about $1 for every like 1 to 2 kilometers. So Amy says, as she mentioned before, she thinks I should definitely look into setting up a business to help people move over here. She thinks I would be great for that. I'm really helpful. Well, in a way, I haven't really done that at all, but in a way, I'm partnering up with the TESOL school I went to, trying to raise awareness of that's like a great way to do it, to come over here. I could talk about that a little bit. The TEFL school, that's the course that certifies you to become a teacher. The one I took was really great. It's a government accredited one. And you get in school, like during the training, you get in school practice. They put you in real classrooms in front of students while you're doing the course. And it takes place in Phnom Penh. So you're not like at home alone watching a video. You're like studying with classmates. You can role play off each other. You get to do it in front of other people. You study together for tests. You're not, when you move here and you're totally alone, you're not alone, because you have that class of like 10 other people that you all become like best friends, because you all went there with, like, you're all there on your own, so you all bond instantly. And then the best part is, right as you're graduating, they send out your CV to all the schools, and that's kind of like vouching for you at the same time. The schools already trust you, that you're coming from a good place. So like on your final few days in the final week of the course, you're already getting emails for job interviews. That's what happened to me. So like I had a job, I just did a few interviews and picked the best opportunity that I thought was the best. So that course is called AVSE. And they even have, like, I don't know what you call it, other courses, like sub courses. So if you already have a TEFL or TESOL from your past or something, but you still want those benefits of some support in getting over here and finding a job, they have programs for people that already have a TEFL or TESOL, where you could come here and they provide accommodation during that time of the training. And I think what it includes is, like, you'd have to look it on their website, but I think you get to observe some teachers in action, and then you get to do some practice in the schools, and then they send your CV out to all the school, like they help you, line you up with a job. And I think that's for life too. Like, so if that job, you work there for a while and then you end up maybe moving, or you leave that place, they'll help you again find a next job. So AVSE. The link is in a lot of my other videos. Because this is live, there's nothing written down there right now, but I'll put it there after. But it's avse.edu.vn, because their main headquarters is in Vietnam. They also do the same exact course, everything I've said, they do it also in Vietnam and Cambodia. And the main headquarters is in Vietnam. So it's www.avse.edu.vn. And they'll help you what visa to get, how to help you get in the country, all the stuff. They'll say for your first accommodations when you're here, it includes that, and then they'll line you up with a job. It's like, what else could you ask for? And then you'll meet all the other people in the course. It's kind of a close-knit thing, so even if you're in that sub course, you would end up meeting all those people that are doing the full course too, that are actually learning the classes to get their TEFL. If you were coming in on that little side course, you would meet all those people too, because they all do everything together. When I was doing the full course, we were hanging out with the other people too. They're in the same place, like, so you'd still get the benefit of all the friends too. So we got 8 people in here. Anyone else want to know anything? I'm trying to think what other scams are there. One scam I've heard of is like when you got the lady bars and the girls in the bars and stuff. The like sex workers or whatever, escort women, and they'll try to dance with you in there, and you're trying to get you to buy them drinks, and they're trying to lead up to something, and like they could rob you, or sometimes if you if you deny them, and maybe and they're persistent and you keep denying and they're annoying you, and then maybe you're kind of rude or whatever, or for whatever reason, all of a sudden you have like their pimp or some tough guy tapping you on the shoulder, and she's all upset and mad all of a sudden, and you're like, what? I just talked to you for 2 seconds. I've been saying get out of my face, like, and you turn around and she's all upset, telling this big huge guy that you guys had sex and you're not paying her. You know what I mean? And you're like, I didn't even. She came up to me and I told her to get out of my face. And she's like, he did this and he did that and he no pay me. You know, and then you're standing there, and just so you don't want to get your head punched in, and then you got this huge angry guy, muscle guy, ready to snap your neck, like, and they're just crying and lying that you did stuff, that you know, you had an arrangement with her and you didn't pay. Meanwhile, you barely even talked to them. That, I don't know if that could have almost happened to me when we were on the staff trip in Siem Reap, and we're at this club temple that has multiple levels, and we're up at the top level, and this Khmer girl's dancing with me, and she's dancing in a pretty provocative, like pretty dancing in a kind of a way, and then we go sit down, and she can't speak English, but she's pointing, because we're on the roof, you can see down to the street, and she's like pointing down at it looked like she was pointing down at an apartment or something, like, come with me down there kind of thing. And then I had been drinking, and then it all sort of occurred to me, oh my God, this isn't just a girl on the dance floor. This is this might be a hooker, like, or whatever, escort, whatever the respectful thing to say. And I realize everything that's happening, and all of a sudden I start to get all paranoid, like that story, like what I just told you could happen, like she's gonna grab her. So I stood up. I'm like, just give me 1 second. Like, I'll be right back. And I stood up and I just worked my way through the crowd and went down. And this building was like multiple levels. So I went down like 2 levels into it. Every level's like a different club. So I just ditched her. I was like, she's like, you come down here, down there. And then all of a sudden, it all like became clear. And I'm like, no, I'll be back in 1 second. Got out of there. You never know. She's leading me down to the street, and then boom, to the bouncer. I do this for him, and he no pay me and stuff. You never know. Like that's a scam I've heard of. So I don't know if that almost happened to me. I got out of there before anything happened, so I might have been just over paranoid. And then some of the other guys I work with were still up on the top club, and they saw that happen, and they said that after a few minutes she got up and she was like walking around that top floor, like looking for me. And I was gone. That's a funny story. That was almost exactly a year ago. That was like 10 months ago, probably. But yeah, if you weren't here in the beginning, this weekend, tomorrow morning, bright and early, my band's going to Koh Rong, which is an island off the south coast of Cambodia. So we hop in an SUV at 6 a.m. and all our stuff and everything, and we go down to Sihanoukville. Then we hop on a speedboat, and it takes us and all our guitars and everything to the island. Yeah. Then we get to the island. It's Friday, and we don't play till Saturday night. And the resort is giving us a room on Saturday night, but we don't have anything Friday night. But the resort said we could set up like they have a beach right in front of their place. So we're going to have hammocks that zip up. You know, the ones where you're in the hammock and then you can zip it up around you and it's all enclosed so the bugs can't get you. So we have like hammocks like that, and I think they have 1 tent or 1 or 2. See what we have when we get there. So we're going to like set up on the beach, which sounds a little bit like roughing it, but it's just overnight. Like, imagine you stay up till midnight and then the sun comes up at 5:30 anyway. It's like you have a little nap in the hammock and then the sun's up. But that'll be cool, going from city life to like literally like living on the beach with your guitars and stuff on a little island on the coast of Cambodia. That's really tripping out. So anyways, there'll be lots of videos along the way. I'll be making like filming a lot. You know, to be able to post it, I have to spend a lot of time editing it. I just got a brand new iPad with way more space in it. So now I can film at a higher quality because I couldn't before because then the files are way too big and they're too big for me to fit into. I was editing in my phone before. Anyways, now that I have an iPad, I can film at the highest quality because I have way enough space now. But I probably can't post those right away because I'm not going to bring that iPad. I don't want it to get full of sand or fall in the water or something. So I'll have to wait till I get back to edit those, but I'll do a couple lives while I'm there. Probably while we're setting up on the beach, I'll do another live, and then the night of the show, probably another live because that'll look cool too. Imagine on an island they don't have anything. It's like everything has to be brought by a little boat. So all the resorts next to where we are too, all those people are going to end up coming to see our show because like there's no way that there's a band at every resort, like a live band. That's just what I predict. I think we'll be the only show in town, like in the radius around where we are probably. So it's probably everyone in our resort and then all the neighboring resorts, all those people will be there. It should be a bumping show. And I was saying we should put out a tip jar because this is like Christmas for people. The Kamai New Year's is their big holiday here. So you never know when people are dancing and everybody drops in just a little bit and it can add up. Every little bit helps, and then you never know. Sometimes a big shot puts like a good bill in there, and then, woo, or at least even send us beers to the stage and stuff. Because when I first heard about us getting this show, I thought, oh, sick! It'll be like all expenses paid. It's not really. It's a little bit limited, but like they don't. You can't blame them. They don't have a lot of money to work with, those business owners on the island and stuff. So we're getting a room for one night. We get some meals. We get some free beer, but it's not like unlimited everything. They're helping us and giving us some money and everything, but there's a limit. So if we had a tip jar, it could help cover what's missing. But yeah, that begins tomorrow. So I guess in 24 hours from now, because it's nighttime where I am right now, it's like, what would it be, 8:45 at night on Thursday night right now. So like this time tomorrow, or it'll probably be earlier because I don't want to do it in the dark. So probably like 4:30 p.m. Cambodia time tomorrow, I'll go live and we'll be on the beach. I don't know if we'll have to set up by then because it starts to get dark by 5:30, so we'll probably start setting up around that time. So I bet you between 4 and 5 p.m. Cambodia time tomorrow, I'll do another live where we'll be setting up hammocks where we're going to live on the beach for one night on a tropical island. That's a pretty neat experience. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'll see you guys then. Remember, how you spend your days is the way you spend your life. It's never too late to start tripping out.